We now welcome in John Jastremski for some Knickerbocker banter. And, JJ, we give Jalen Brunson all his props when he plays at an MVP caliber, but in this one, he was anything but. What went wrong for him against the Celtics?
Eamon, just about everything. Look, there's no bigger Jalen Brunson fan than yours truly. I say without hesitation, after watching him now for the last couple of years as a member of the New York Knicks, that is one of the worst games I've ever seen Jalen Brunson play. He was 6 of 21 offensively. He couldn't finish around the rim. The shooting touch was not there. But then on the other end of the floor, the Boston Celtics went out of their way to expose and flat out abuse Jalen Brunson defensively every which way imaginable. Now, bigger picture, am I worried about Jalen Brunson? Of course not. Is he going to be able to bounce back? Of course he is. We know what kind of intestinal fortitude he brings to the table. But in a game in which Mikal Bridges played his rear end off, 35 points. He's willing the Knicks back in the fourth quarter, hitting shot after shot. You have Karl-Anthony Towns coming to life in that second half. You needed better from the captain, and he was MIA across the board in Boston, and to me, it ended up being a difference in the game.
Yeah, you knew it wasn't going to be his night when down 5. He missed that teardrop shot, which is kind of his signature when he's on a roll and clutch in the fourth quarter. But Boston scoring 73 points in the second and third quarters. JJ, was it great Celtic offense and shooting or poor Knick defense?
Can I split the difference? Because I can't ignore what Jaylen Brown did for the Boston Celtics. He put on a performance. They do not have Jason Tatum. They need him to go and put the Superman cape on. And the Knicks simply had no answers for Jaylen Brown getting to the rim, doing whatever he wanted to do. But the Knicks defense was not where it needed to be. And when you look at what you've seen through the first 20% of the season, this Knicks defense hasn't been the same, and this Knicks team, for that matter, hasn't been the same when you take them off the friendly confines of the Madison Square Garden floor. The Knicks have been a runaway freight train when they play at Madison Square Garden. They need to figure out, Eamon, what's going wrong on the road in these games, because it looked easy peasy in the first quarter. They got up to a 14-point lead. They were hitting shots left and right. There was a lot of energy. That energy went by the boards. Jaylen Brown took over. So to give you a long-winded question, it is Jaylen Brown, Jaylen Brown, Jaylen Brown, but you got to be better on the road.
All right, you mentioned Mikal Bridges with 35. Were you getting playoff flashbacks when he cut it within 3 a couple of times that, hey, this might be another Knick comeback?
Oh, how could you not? In the exact same building we saw it a year ago, and the broadcast was all over the block, the steal, the way the Knicks were able to seize the momentum in the first 2 games of that second-round series. And yeah, Mikal Bridges, who I was all over last year, changed his Knick narrative on that particular night. There's a silver lining for the Knicks in this game. He was outstanding, and he's off to a great start this year.
All right, Knicks right back at it on Wednesday, hosting the Hornets. JJ, thanks for joining us here on Honda Sports Night.